On any given night, 1,200 people are forced to sleep on the streets, parks, or along the riverbanks of Sacramento. The number of homeless men, women, and children approaches 3,000 if you include those staying in temporary shelter or housing. Sacramento's unemployment rate is at 12%, and the region has suffered unprecedented cuts in public health and mental health services, income maintenance programs, and other programs necessary to help people make the transition out of homelessness. While efforts are underway to significantly increase the number of available shelter beds under the best-case scenario, hundreds of homeless people will be left out in the cold. Yet Sacramento marches forward with plans to enforce its so-called anti-camping law, a law that treats people who must sleep outside using whatever they have to protect themselves from the elements as criminals.
See, what Safe Ground is trying to do, we have everybody sign an agreement when they come into Safe Ground that says no drugs, no alcohol, no violence or threats of violence. There's an awful lot of fear about the homeless. And some of it's justified, most of it is not. The homeless are tolerated so long as they remain invisible. Community is disappearing as we all go hide in our little boxes and segregate from one another. There, you couldn't segregate. People were right next to each other. They talked. We didn't have a way to plug in a television, so we replaced it with conversation. There are a lot of good working people out here, and they do want to work, but we need to help them find a way to do that.
It's time for the people to stand up to the political powers and say, look, we've had enough. We want to live. We just want to live our life without breaking any laws, without hurting anyone. This is a wasteland. It's not safe ground.
The relocation doesn't allow for people to have their pets, gives them a bed only for a night. They have to be checked in again by 3:30 of the following day to get a bed. And of course, if someone was fortunate enough to get a day job, they won't get off till 5 or 6. That means they won't have a bed for the night.
Grandpa taught me a lot about self-respect. He taught me about character and how you present yourself. He pretty much told me never give up. I actually had a nice little interview, and now I'm going to be working as a dishwasher. And I start Friday at pretty much from 2 to 7. Feels good. The work finally pays off. I always said I was going to make it, and now, you know, that goal's finally been met. So now it's time to set the next goal, and that's moving up. You know, the city, they're going to move us. So now it's like I just got this job, and now I have a next problem. Not a problem, but a next challenge. And I guess I'm just gonna have to try to find housing. If I can't do that, then probably post a tent up somewhere else and stay there. I don't want the job to know that this is how I live at night. Because if you tell someone that you're homeless, they're gonna think you're like do drugs or steal or you're a horrible person. But no, that's not pretty much the truth with a lot of people. We're just people that used to have jobs that unfortunately had an itch in their life, and now we're just trying to move on up. You gotta stay strong in this world. You can't be weak or bow down. You just gotta, if you have a goal, if you really have a goal, you can make it. It doesn't matter how low you go, you can make it. You know, this is America.
Our homeless folks are begging in line to get any job per day, per hour. I became a director about 3 years ago, and I began to notice a pattern of the police coming to where homeless people stay at night and giving out tickets for anti-camping ordinance. And so they'd go to court, they'd go to jail, and where are they supposed to go the next night? So they kept doing this repetitive pattern of giving tickets to homeless folks for sleeping outside. And so it became discrimination against those who are homeless and criminalizing the homeless. The word safe ground came from our homeless guests themselves. They said, we need a safe place to be at night. We need safe ground. Here in Sacramento, we've had 5 different safe ground locations, and generally they don't last very long. After a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month, the police will raid the safe ground and say, sorry, you cannot be here anymore because this is illegal, you need to go. There's no reason why we have homelessness in the United States, Sacramento, or the world.
I became homeless in March of this year. My mom passed from cancer, and me and my children were living with her, taking care of her. And she lived in the senior complex, so unfortunately we wasn't able to stay there after her passing. Then in the blink of an eye, it was just gone. All my belongings are all scattered all over the place. It was like everything was just in a blender. So I came here, and I was scared because I still didn't have anywhere to live. I've been in a domestic violence relationship. I'm not lost on drugs or alcohol. I'm just trying to find a foundation to start over again. I couldn't get into a shelter because of my son's age. He's 17. We do need to come together as a nation and help our brothers and sisters and help them go through what they go through in life, and letting people know that it's okay. Even though you did go through some things in life, it's okay. We all fall down, but we can get up. We can.
In November, I had a job and I lost it. And I called a friend and asked her if I could stay with her for a while till I got back on my feet, and we agreed on a price of $200 a month. When I got there, I suddenly became the sole responsibility of all her overdue bills. One day, I had given her $30 to appease her, and I heard her husband in the next room make his drug deal with the $30 I gave him. And I knew that the next day, I was going to leave no matter where I went. And I left. And that was 8 months ago. I am grateful that there was a place for me to go to, that I'm not out on the street, because I couldn't survive it. But at the end of the day, I have an 11 o'clock curfew. I can't spend the night out with my friends. I have to tell my father that I'm still homeless. I miss my life so much. It's very hard. You know, it's a humiliating experience. 60 women together. We're all hormonal. We all have our bad days. We all yell and scream sometimes, and it's rough. When you think that your kids are giving you a bad day, go stay in a shelter for the night and see what a bad day really is.
I'm a home health aide, and the gentleman I was working with died. The company I was working with then redid the police checks in order to assign me a new person. A year previous to that, my little brother had committed a crime and used my name and social security number in order to try to get out of it. So my name pops up as an alias for a felon. The company I was bonded with pulled the bond, and I effectively lost the job. You may walk past a guy who's sitting on the sidewalk. You may think to yourself, you know, wonder where he's going to sleep tonight, but then you go home to your bed. Safe ground means to me that community. There's more community in this group than I have seen when I lived in a house. We sit and actually talk to each other. When I was in Kentucky, I used to go to little church, Zion Baptist Church. On every exit, before the exit sign, they had a little plaque that says, "Now entering the mission field." The mission field is not some other country. It is in your own backyard. If you start in your own backyard and work your way out, eventually you'll cover the whole world, because you're always in somebody's backyard.